don't remember Tel Aviv in this situation for many years. I just went out to the streets. The streets are totally empty. Restaurants, cafes, everything is locked down. And there is a very heavy feeling of surprise, of shock, and of fear from what is still expected to happen. When the first rockets fall, I was jogging in the park. The noise was terrible. And ever since then, Tel Aviv went into a new phase. First of all, there are many more Israeli killed than the official number, because things are still very unclear and still going on in many towns in the south. So expect much bigger number of casualties. It's an inevitable result of months and maybe years of Israeli arrogance, of the feeling that Israel can do whatever it wants and will never be taken accountable and never pay any price for the pogroms of the settlers in the West Bank, backed and supported by the Israeli army, for the arrests, for the attacks, for the killings of innocent civilians in the West Bank, and also for violating the status quo in the Temple Mountain. I just got now a report that in Sukkot, this Sukkot, there were over 5,000 Jews going in a very provocative way to the Temple Mountain, and all those things are feeding the fire. And what is a surprise is the capability of Hamas, not their intentions, because nobody in Israel had foreseen that they have such impressive capabilities. In the south, there are still battles in certain of the army spokesperson, who is not always reliable in Israel. But there are also immediate questions. For example, most of the troops that should have been around Gaza were busy with the settler celebrations in the West Bank. And if you become a security company of the settlers for all their crazy celebrations in Sukkot, and Gaza is left with very few soldiers, then those things can happen. And someone is responsible for this. And this is only one example for many questions that will arise now. But as I said, it's too early to judge because we know too little. Gaza is a cage, is the biggest prison in the world. Nobody spoke about lifting the siege. And you know, people who live now 17 years in a cage want to resist. And if they have the possibility, they do it. And I'm surprised that they had the possibility, because the barrier, I know the barrier around Gaza, billions of dollars were spent there to build this unbelievable barrier under the surface and above the surface with all kinds of electronic devices. And finally you see that the spirit of resistance is many times stronger than anything else, and they broke it and penetrated into Israel, which is now shocked. Finally, by the end of the day, by the end of the war, the Palestinians will pay for it an unprecedented price. With this right-wing government, I'm quite scared for the Israeli reaction. People are talking already about erasing whole neighborhoods in Gaza. People also talk about reconquering Gaza, and all this will lead to more bloodshed and to more despair.